Okay, so now we would like to invite Miss Lau Yin Mei, the Group Chief Marketing and Customer Experience Officer from Malaysia Airlines Berhad, to present her topic, Fly Confidently with the Highest Standards of Safety and Hygiene. The floor is yours, Miss Lau.
All right. Thank you so very much, Aaron. And it's lovely to be part of this very, very interesting and exciting session as we all get together and work our ways in Cuti-Cuti Malaysia with confidence. Thank you very much for having us, Malaysia Aviation Group, to be part of this one. And we have been working in terms of preparing ourselves in with the recovery of the demand by making sure that we keep an utmost importance in our safety and hygiene for not just our passengers and customers, but also for our staff. Maybe allow me to share what we have gone through clearly over the past 20 months during this pandemic. Perhaps as a start, just an introduction in case some of you may not be aware, Malaysia Airlines is part of the Malaysia Aviation Group. And as the airline, we are the national carrier for Malaysia. And we've been representing our country to the world and at the same time bringing in tourists from all around the world into Malaysia since the inception in 1947. So that makes us about 73, 72 years old now. Yeah. So just moving on, just a network of where we fly to. So you could see, it is actually pretty small here, indicated by a few icons with Malaysia Airlines. If you could look at the legend at the bottom left, because the Malaysia Aviation Group comprises of Malaysia Airlines, Firefly, as well as Marswing. So you can see that mainly Malaysia Airlines will fly around the world, with Firefly focusing in Malaysia and within and Marswings within East Malaysia, which is within Sabah and Sarawak. Moving on, just a very quick snapshot of our metals that we're using with Malaysia Airlines, and we have the 330 Airbus. And within the Airbus family, we have the 330-200 as well as the 330-300s for those of you who are clearly interested in aircraft, right? We also have our Airbus 350. This are our newest addition to the fleet. And the 350 are now flying to London, to Narita. And at times during peak time, we fly to Melbourne and even Sydney with our 350. And clearly, we have our 380s, but if you're aware, the 380s is a very, very costly and expensive metal to fly. We have 6 of them at this moment, and we are looking at actually disposing the 380s in the meantime. With the Boeing, we continue to have majority of our flights within domestic and ASEAN using the Boeing 737-800. Moving on. Just a quick snapshot of Malaysia Aviation Group. We are not just an airline per se. We are literally the national aviation that we cover, as we can see here. Under airlines arm, we have 4 airlines that's comprising of Malaysia Airlines, Firefly, Marswing, and also Amal. Amal is our new pilgrimage airline that started in 2019, focusing on mainly our Hajj and Umrah flights. Of course, we have Mass Cargo looking after the cargo and logistics, and which has been really, really active in the past 20 months. We have ground handling, Aerodarat, specializing in the handling of ground, including baggage handling, RAM handling, passenger handling at the airport. And of course, we also have our aviation training services covered by MAB Academy, and our maintenance, repair and overhaul, in short MRO, are covered by MAB Engineering. Of course, end-to-end, you see that we have Enrich as our frequent flyer program, a loyalty program that been in the market for the past 34 years. So that in a nutshell somewhat summarizes us as the aviation icon for the nation. Just a little bit into the history of Malaysia Airlines. I mean, clearly, as I was sharing earlier, we started our first commercial flight in the 1947. Of course, throughout the years, or rather decades, we have been winning a lot of numerous awards within the industry. And also we are part of the One World Alliance, connecting Malaysia to over 1,000 destinations around the world. In the airlines industry, literally the airline work very closely with a lot of partner airlines, and where we are able to then connect our passengers to all destinations around the world. Malaysia Airlines have always been a representative of Malaysia hospitality to everyone else in the around the world. As you remember, our airline code is MH, and that literally stands for Malaysian hospitality. So with this iconic Malaysian hospitality, we realized that we need to make sure that this hospitality that is so Malaysian, and it needs to be actually introduced to everyone around the world. So we started on this journey of introducing MH. It stands for Malaysian Hospitality Begins With Us. While we have been flying since 1947, we literally started on this MH campaign in 2018 itself, actually. We started with MH 1.0, where Malaysian Hospitality Begins With Us, as you can see here. The next year, in 2019, we did MH 2.0, which is what we call it, Malaysian Hospitality. And in 2019 as well, we realized that there is a need for us to support all our local interesting states, attractions and destinations, and we want all our international tourists to not just come into one state, but also to fly within the 13 states that we have in Malaysia, discovering all the beauty, sports, the rich heritage and the delectable cuisines that we have to offer within Malaysia itself. And that's when we said we launched Fly Malaysia, proudly Malaysian, that's who we are, and Fly Malaysia. Just a very quick, as shared earlier, this is Malaysian Hospitality Begins With Us. We have this clearly denoted in on what Malaysian hospitality means. This was the MH 1.0. The video, actually, I have a video here, but I think in view of time, I will not share the MH 1.0. I will, however, share with you our MH 2.0. Literally, this is where what we call it Malaysian hospitality. Now, before I share this video, a little bit brief background to this is why we always say it begins with us, right? So you will notice that throughout the video, it is about how the different staff and within different department within Malaysia Airlines display and demonstrate Malaysian hospitality to each other. And that is how we then display and demonstrate Malaysian hospitality to our passengers. And that's what we are known, that's why we call it Malaysian hospitality. So it's just going to be a 2-3 minutes. Enjoy this video as we call it Malaysian hospitality.
Remember how
Every journey is a new story unfolding, and we each have our own to follow.
And so innocent back then, chasing dreams, I feel it in my
For me,
heart.
I wanted the same thing when I first started,
Every moment getting better day by
and the answer won't be found in rulebooks or pamphlets,
feeling so
but rather
appreciated
where we come from,
'cause you're always
our
here.
customs, heritage,
I'm
and
never
traditions,
left behind,
the paths we
'cause
choose,
you are always
and the
here.
choices we make.
I will never take for granted the kindness that you gave. No matter where I go, you're always there.
People may not remember what you have done, but they will remember how you made them feel.
You see, the most important connections we make aren't between places, but between our hearts.
It doesn't take much to make a difference. Even the smallest gestures can mean so much.
Showing me how much you care.
This is what has always defined us, and we know that it will always be a part of us, as Malaysians and as an ally.
Because you are always here, I will never take for granted.
Some call it extraordinary.
No matter
We call it Malaysian hospitality.
You're always there.
So there you have it. That is Malaysian hospitality, begins with us and what we call as Malaysian hospitality. Now, towards the end of 2019, as I was sharing, we realized that there are so many beautiful things about Malaysia ourselves. So then again, we went out promoting the beauty and the glorious Malaysia. And this is where we came to a campaign called Fly Malaysia. Just allow me to read through what it really means is our culture, nature, and people. It is everything that we stand for. And that's the way we've been welcoming the world to our doorstep. Proudly flying our people since 1947, we carry it proudly wherever we go. This is our pride. This is Malaysia Airlines. We even launched this internationally, clearly to London, to everyone around the world, and we actually launched it officially during the WTM World Travel Mart in London in 2019. Now, we decided that it is much more meaningful when we actually go through the few beautiful things about Malaysia, and we showcase that within our iconic wow, as what you could see here. So these are just some example of how we continue to bring up the pride of Malaysia and Malaysia Airlines. Yeah. Again, indulge me. This is a very quick video about Fly Malaysia, promoting again the beauty and the rich heritage that Malaysia has to offer. Now, this video has been shared to everyone around the world, and clearly it has generated a lot of interest from everyone around the world to come and explore and experience Malaysia. Enjoy.
We bring the best of Malaysia
to the skies.
Okay, so there you have it. With the launch in 2019, it clearly generated a lot of interest, and we continue to push Malaysia to the world, of course, until when the pandemic hit us. Now, let me try to go back to the presentation. Okay, seems to have, there we go. Okay, some technical glitches I see. Just bear with me for a while. Now, as what we shared earlier, this is when the pandemic has suddenly hit all of us, and a very quick sharing of the overview of the effects of COVID to the aviation industry in Malaysia. Clearly, the airline industry has been one of the hardest hit industry. As we all know, travel restrictions and flight cancellations were all put in place. Well, in just very short time, we actually noted there is an estimated of 10.9 billion losses in terms of all Malaysia-based airlines, and that's just Malaysia alone. And if we include our airport operators, that's additional 2.1 billion losses that has been witnessed. Now, these numbers are actually only for 2020 itself. We have not even included the impact of 2021. Sharing a little bit from the overall impact to the aviation airline industry, you could see here what this graph depicts is it has included the impact in terms of demand for some of the big incidences of pandemic previously. For instance, the 1991 global recession, and in 2001, we had the September 11 terrorist attack, which hit the industry. That was the most detrimental at that point, as you can see depicted with the the red graph, right? And in 2003, SARS hit us, but the impact, when we look at it now in retrospect, the impact of SARS was considered not that significant as what you could see now, as depicted by the green line, which is the largest demand shock that we have registered to date, that it plunges immediately right down to the bottom of the graph, and that is how much COVID-19 has impacted us. If we come closer to Malaysia, what this graph shows is the airline capacity, how we measure by ESK, airlines per kilometer, for available seat kilometer that's made available in Malaysia. The blue line represents international capacity, while the gray line represents domestic. And again, the moment we all dreaded was in March 2020, when everything just plunged right down to only there were still some activities going on and flights going on, but those were really a lot to do with essential flights, and also mainly repatriation flights, bringing our Malaysians back home, and bringing medical supplies in there. Now, as we look into recovery, we can see that there will be recovery, and to be honest, I think the airline industry has always been very resilient. We will bounce back. We need to bounce back, right? Because without airlines, without connectivity, the trade, the economy, between countries globally will come to a complete halt. So what we are forecasting clearly is the recovery of this shock, and as depicted in this graph, also in the green line, that's where we are. Asia Pacific is actually seen to have the highest recovery rate compared to other regions, and we are really excited for this. Now, going into a little bit further into which by country within Asia Pac, we have noted that ASEAN, South Asia, and China will continue to lead the growth in this recovery, and not just in the next 5 years, but also expanding up to the next 20 years. Yeah. Now, in summary, clearly, what the pandemic has taught us a lot of lessons. It has also altered the entire landscape. The main 5 things that we have noted were clearly changes in customer preferences. We know that as the demand recovers, leisure travel will recover first. Business travels will likely to only recover to about 50 to 80% of pre-COVID levels. And also now the main priority amongst our customers and passengers would be the safety and hygiene, and the behavior will start to shift to travel in smaller groups as a start. Now, what the pandemic has also done, which we always look things on the bright side, is it has accelerated the digital adoption by as much as 3 to 4 years. A lot of digital initiatives have been expedited, and even I myself, started to do a lot of things digitally, and I believe all of us now here would have at least done our online shopping once a week or even every day, if not every day. And this is something that has changed the behavior of consumers worldwide. We are moving a lot more towards automation. And this is where agile organizations will be able to respond much faster by placing emphasis in these digitalization initiatives and innovations. Now, we have also seen the shift towards MRO business. MRO stands for maintenance, repair, and overhaul, where there is a spike in used aircraft parts. And also we have done a lot of increased demand, passenger to F. What P2F means is passenger to freight conversions, meaning using commercial passenger flights for cargo, for freight. And clearly, the industry now is looking to a lot of focus is in the cash position by monetizing more of the non-core airline businesses, because we know that the airline was badly hit, and it is really external factor that no one can predict, right? And which means the future is so blurred. So what airlines do now is monetizing the non-core airline business, to continue to remain financially stable. All right. Well, as we all know, demand for cargo has improved extensively, clearly because of the need for a lot of cargo movement. And last but not least, we see the oversupply of aircraft in the market. As the picture depicts here, it is actually very sad to see. It is where you see all the planes being parked side to side, front to back, in all the big spaces. Where all the aircraft now have been put on ground, clearly due to the reduced flights. This has also caused a lot of consolidation in terms of airlines who couldn't sustain during these bad times, and they have closed down, right? That's inevitable, right? Because the leasing, the cost of keeping the airline during these times is actually very, very high. Now, moving on to a little bit of continue to connect with our customers and our consumers, because at the end of the day, we need to know what's coming. So within Asia Pacific alone, we actually noted, there's huge pent-up demand to travel. I mean, look at us here. I haven't been flying for the past 20 months, and I am really, really waiting to fly. I want to go and travel, even if it could be just 2 days, 1 night, right? To get away and to get myself on the flight to somewhere. Now, I believe a lot of you, or if not all of you, share the same sentiment. And what we have noticed really in Malaysia alone, if you can look at the numbers here, as high as 87% of all Malaysians are really wanting to travel, to reunite with families, and rekindle relationships. As simple as that, and as high as 86%, if you look at the item number 3, are really wanting to travel, just to get a break, just to unplug for the holidays, as what we call it. Now, these are surveys done amongst the consumers out there. So with this very, very high, huge pent-up desire to travel, we went on a mission to reunite Malaysians and foreigners during the pandemic. Clearly, the pent-up demand will only be allowed to go on their holidays or on their travel when the borders are lifted. But throughout the pandemic, we do know we have Malaysians stuck in other countries. Yeah, so if no one flies, because commercially we are not allowed to fly, no airlines are allowed to fly. But as a national carrier, we feel that it is our national obligation and our national duty and responsibility to bring back these Malaysians. Yeah, and even foreigners who are in Malaysia, they need to go back to their families, right? So this is where we actually, throughout the whole pandemic, we have executed over 600 repatriation and rescue flights were scheduled. Yeah, in the midst of it, we wanted to bring back our students from London, from the US, and we even went to places and destinations that we don't usually fly to, but because there are Malaysians there, as long as there are Malaysians there, we need to bring them back. Yeah, so we went through all the approvals and whatnot to bring them back and to make sure that every Malaysian is reunited with their family at home, and similarly foreigners with their families. At the same time, we continue to transport medical supplies, not just within Malaysia, but also to countries who needs help. And that's clearly operated by our sister company, Mas Cargo. They like to bring ventilators, surgical gloves, or even equipments to the disaster relief provisions to these areas impacted by the pandemic. Now, at the same time, we continue to do our part to support the vaccination program of the country. And this is where, if you recall, it was really interesting. We brought in the first batch of Pfizer vaccines on 21st of February. And clearly, this is what was an iconic flight for Mas Cargo, bringing back to Malaysia the first batch of Pfizer, and since then we continue to bring this vaccines in, and to date we have brought in about 40 flights of vaccines, and also not just into KL but also distributed it to other states within Malaysia. Yeah, if you think about it, this is during the peak, and it is very important that we continue to have our staff to be committed to be managing this. Yeah, so as you can see in the video here, via Maswing, we brought these vaccines to all the rural areas in Sabah and Sarawak to ensure every Malaysian together we are able to get ourselves vaccinated. So that's part of our duty as a national carrier. Yeah? At the same time, because we have very limited flights, so our cabin crew then also volunteered at all the MPPVs across Klang Valley and even in Penang and whatnot, to assist and to promote our Malaysians to get vaccinated. And just a little goodie, we even brought down our ice cream, our in-flight ice cream, to be served to our nation who went for vaccine at the PVVs. Yeah, this ice cream historically is only available on board, 30,000 feet in the air. But this is the first time we have brought them on ground to be like a little reward and to encourage people really to go for their vaccines. So, well, despite all the challenges that we have been having or caused by the pandemic, we continue to take great measures. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, the safety and hygiene of our customers and our staff are our top priority. As we can see here, we have launched what we say, the Fly Confidently, where we promote people, those who need to travel, please travel responsibly. Yeah, Malaysia Airlines remain committed to offering the highest standard of aircraft safety and protocols. And we work very closely with WHO and our MOH to ensure that at all times, the protocols are put in place, and we actually even do more than required. For instance, clearly a lot of initiatives are being put into ensuring social distancing is there. Our cabin crew are fully equipped and wearing the mask and the gloves where necessary. We even had to do modification to our meal service, and up to today, we are distributing our passenger hygiene kits that comprise of 2 masks in case our passenger drops the mask or whatnot. At least they have something to replace with a sanitizer as well as sanitary wipes. Yeah, so it's really to encourage that the discipline of hygiene and safety. And of course, after every single flight, the aircraft goes through a very deep cleaning to ensure, again, it's fully clean for all the flights. Now, we continue to remain committed to our mission to get people to travel responsibly with the hashtag Fly Confidently, as you can see. So all these are just information to make sure that everybody continues to keep to the discipline. And also we have also put in our contactless travel, what we call the contactless journey, to also minimize the interaction or contact with anyone else. So we have already launched the mobile and kiosk self-check-in and bag tag printing. You could even check in via your app at home. And at our golden lounges, which used to serve in terms of buffet, is now using a ordering system using the QR code. A lot of measures are coming soon, and some of these are to be jointly developed with the airport, like MAHB. Moving a bit the next. Well, we are the first airline actually to have 100% vaccinated crew, active crew member on board. And we managed to achieve this even back in August. We took it upon our corporate responsibility to make sure that our cabin crew and our flight crew, mainly our pilots and co-pilots, all the active crew are fully vaccinated, because again, it gives that sense of assurance to our passengers to know that our crew who are there on board serving them are all fully vaccinated. This, we keep to all the SOP very, very tightly. And at the same time, we know that with all the changes and all the news about travel restriction requirements around the world, things will happen very, very ad hocly. So we even launched a interactive map on our website and on our app for passengers and customers who are interested to find out what are the travel requirements to the country of their destination, or even when they return home. This provides a very extensive information to the extent of what documents are required, how many cases are there in the destination, where to go, at the destination and whatnot. And at the same time, clearly with our commitment to prepare for the recovery of the demand, we were one of the first few airlines in the world to begin the IATA Travel Pass. This is the digital health pass, where literally we all used to just travel with our passport, right? But clearly, again, the COVID has changed that now. The digital health pass is a digital passport that stores your vaccine status and also your tests. Any test that you have done, the results of the test will be in this digital health pass. We started the pilot with flights to London, and back in 2021 April, just about 8 months ago, we were actually one of the first in the world to actually do this, and we continued that pilot test to Tokyo and to Melbourne in May 2021. So with just giving you a snapshot very quickly of how this digital travel health pass will look like, or is meant to look like. So we charted this out for easy understanding for our passengers. So imagine you are here at the starting point. You may have a lot of questions, on what's needed, what are the regulations and the SOPs required. So you can refer this to the earlier interactive map that we have on our website. And of course, what we depict on our website is clearly what we take from the governments, and sometimes the respective government will have some updates, overnight or whatnot, and it's clearly most accurate by the respective governments. And of course, then it goes on to booking, right? The moment they have and you booked via either the MH mobile or the app, the mobile app or the website, right? We will send a travel checklist to our passengers to facilitate the travel, right? And clearly, this was before. This is where the need. This is an example where you need to have a PCR test. So using the digital health pass, you can actually just scroll where are the clinics nearby to you that offer this test, right? And you can actually make your appointment on that part on the app itself. And then once the appointment is made, you just show up at the clinic, show them your app, right? And at the same time, they will then register you and you conduct your test. Now, the result of the test will then come in automatically in that app. So it's not, you don't need to go back there or you don't need to print it out or whatnot. It automatically goes to your app. So when you're ready to travel on the day of travel itself, all you need to do is show this digital app that has the results of your test to all the authorities, be it at the check-in counter or at the immigration, for them to verify and to approve you to fly. So the digital health pass will make it very seamless, but now at this very moment, there are a lot of digital health pass is not a mandatory in Malaysia. Some other countries around the world have already adopted a few digital health pass, because it facilitates the travel altogether, making it much more seamless and convenient. So we are now working very closely with the government to see whether how and when do we need to endorse and actually to roll this out for our passengers as well, for visitors into Malaysia and also outbound. Right. With these extensive efforts that we have done, we were awarded, of course, the full 7-star rating by airlineratings.com in terms of how COVID-19 prepared and safe we are. They come up with 7 stars in terms of their ratings for the, and we managed to achieve all full 7 stars. Yeah. So have a look at airlinesrating.com. They do share what are the measures and what are the items or topics that they measure in terms of this 7-star. As an additional step to it, we know that we need to position Malaysia as a safe country or a preferred destination the moment any travel is allowed. Yeah, be it for tourists or even business events. So just last month itself, technically even on the 10th of October itself, we, Malaysia Aviation Group, jointly with MATA, which is the Malaysia Association of Tour and Travel Agents, and MAH, Malaysian Association of Hotels and Museums, the Meeting, Incentives, Conventions and Exhibitions of Malaysia. We signed an MOU witnessed by the Ministry of Tourism that we will now establish a Travel Safe Alliance in Malaysia, in short TSAM, where we will create and develop a safe end-to-end journey for anyone traveling within Malaysia or even into Malaysia. So take an example if somebody is coming in from, say, Australia, to know that the moment they step into Malaysia Airlines flight, they are assured that we are part of TSAM. We are certified to be safe and to practice strict and stringent safety protocols. And the moment they land in Malaysia, be it the ground arrangements that they take, as they check into the hotel, with Ma here, or they go with any tour agent that brings them around to the attractions, by MATA members, they will be assured that it is a certified safe journey. Yeah, and for those coming in for business events, clearly Masios plays a very important role to assure of their travel. So with this, we are really all set for the borders to open and to bring in tourists coming in, be it for leisure or business purposes, because we need to revive the industry. We need to make sure that the players in the industry can survive through this pandemic. Yeah, just to give a snapshot, tourism used to be the top number 3 GDP contributor to the country, but clearly in 2020 and 2021, this has dropped substantially. We were at 13.5%, and now we are just at 5.5%. So we do need to bring it back, and collectively with other partners. This is not something that one party could do. It is a joint collaboration. Yeah, so we are happy that we have signed a TSAM, and we will continue to promote this to make sure that visitors are aware, and they will make Malaysia as their destination of choice the moment borders are open. Well, we've talked about customers. We talked about how we change and the way the process and what we do in our aircraft. But what's most important, clearly, especially at Malaysia Aviation Group, is our own people. Yeah, we have this pillar, or rather this belief that we have internally within Malaysia Aviation Group. If you ask any of our staff, you know that we believe firmly in 2 very key things. One is people is our true north. This is what people of Malaysia Aviation Group will always remain our true north. The second one is customer is our center of gravity. Yeah, so these two beliefs have been very, very strongly held by every single staff in Malaysia Aviation Group. So maybe just a very quick snapshot. Clearly, since when COVID started, our flights were grounded. The biggest, most impacted group would be the pilots and cabin crew because of the travel restrictions, right? We know that our staff have started, they all have hidden talents. Yeah, they started their home cooked meals, turning their business, their passion into businesses. So we actually help to create a platform, to help support them, their livelihood throughout it, and promoting their businesses through MH Home Cooks and MH Artisan. Yeah, we took this to make it a corporate program so that we help them to promote it. We give them our website, we give them a platform for them to promote it, and even we develop videos to promote how we can share this across the world. Yeah. So just very quickly, as you can see here, this is a preview. It's just a very short preview of the entire MH Home Cooks. So we shot how our crew does all this, and you can find it on YouTube, and customers who see this can actually purchase their meals directly from them. Yeah. We then move on to MH Artisan. Again, these are all hidden talents of our crew. So we featured firstly two of our cabin crew. One is Wesley. He is actually from East Malaysia, and he hand makes dolls, lovely dolls. Very intricate, very exquisite as well. And we have Agnes, who did a lot of stickers and also keychains, and we help them to develop their entrepreneurial skills, right? And actually, we even have them online on selling on our Temptations. That means anyone around the world can actually even purchase from them. Yeah, just some examples of the dolls that Wesley did. We have the Kebaya girl, we have the Sabah doll, and also the Sarawak doll. Clearly, he's from the East Malaysia, right? Yeah. So, and here are some of the great works of Agnes. Again, she does it from home. So we wanted to make sure that we have a platform to help our staff. Yeah. At the same time, as what we had people as our true north, we continue to take the initiative to upskill our staff. Despite the no frequency or the reduced flights. But most importantly, we develop MH Heart. Because throughout the pandemic, a lot of people do not realize it could get pretty stressful, or and in terms of our mental wellness. So we want to make sure that every single one of our staff are healthy and also mentally well throughout the entire pandemic. And this is just not one-sided. We have our pilots taking up this opportunity, to lift and lighten everyone's mood. So again, just spare me 2 minutes. This is a TikTok, little TikTok snap, a reel. And this is literally done by all our pilots themselves. No production house, no nothing, but clearly it comes from the heart of the pilots. So have a look at it. It's all an idea of our pilots to do this. So there you have it. I guess our pilots were missing putting on their uniform, so that's why, even though they're at home, literally a lot of people think that it's good to stay home, but I think what they really miss is donning their uniform and serving to fly Malaysians and our passengers. But nonetheless, remember, MH continue to be introduced around the world. As shared, Fly Confidently is really not just to Malaysians ourselves, to make sure that everyone around the world continue to stay safe as our highest priority. Yeah, and within amongst us, Malaysia, while we haven't been able to fly, and we came up with a lot of inspirational, that we said, travel Malaysia tomorrow. Yeah, the campaign goes around travel Malaysia tomorrow. I mean, now that we can't travel yet, there was back then in 2020 actually, so but we continue to feature all the great attractions, the great nature, our culture and arts, our delectable food ranges, and even our cafe and restaurants. We continue to promote them so that the moment we are allowed to travel and we are allowed to go out and about, they will then be able to promote their products as well. Yeah. And of course, maintaining total mind, we launched the ASMR, Sounds of MH. This gotten a lot of traction because everybody really miss flying. They miss the sound of announcement at the airport. They miss the sound of the buzzing sound of the engine as the aircraft takes off. And they even miss the buzzer sound, on board, where the captain comes on board to make an announcement, or the cabin crew makes a safety announcements. All this were really, really something that all of us have been yearning to hear. So I think we came up with ASMR, and that generated a lot of very positive feedback from our passengers. And we continue to have engagement with our fans. We have our pilots, cabin crew coming up with a TikTok challenge, to make their own version of the announcement on board. Yeah. So just some of the items that we have done. While we know everybody miss flying, so what we did was to do something that we've never ever done before, for the past 70 over years, where we actually brought the flying experience into your own home. Yeah, this is where we started bringing, say, if you can't fly, but doesn't mean that you can't experience it at home. So we actually brought down what we had used to be like our peanuts, our signature peanuts were only distributed in the flight, right? We actually got them to be on ground as well. So you can actually now just order peanuts, to your home and all delivered to your home. And we even launched our signature satay, which used to be only served for our first class and our business suite passengers and our business class passengers. And now anyone and every one of you can enjoy this lovely, delectable, very exclusive Malaysia Airlines satay. Yeah. At the same time, we also brought down our amenities. So if you have been missing putting on our pajamas on board, our amenities kit, or even being covered in the warmth of our duvet, well, you can now have them in your own home. Yeah. So we had tiffin carriers, signature batik, and actually, speaking of which, we have just recently launched our Cool Treats ice cream. And this is now available not just online on Journeyfy, which is our e-commerce platform. You can buy them online and get them delivered to your home. You can even get them at key retail outlets, like the supermarkets like Village Grocer, Jaya Grocer, Mercato, Aeon, or even Petronas and selected Petronas and Shell stations. So the moment that you feel that, hey, I need a uplift of the mood, or even I miss flying, but maybe getting this ice cream can satisfy that need for a while. So go try. It is the ice cream is actually designed and developed exclusively for us, for Malaysia Airlines. If you notice, it is just in bite sizes. It is not the typical ice cream that has the ice cream stick, because it's meant to be served on board and for convenience. That one bite size and it just pops it in, as simple as that. Go for it. I can assure you ask for more. Yeah. At the same time, while we continue to engage our consumers and the travelers, we know that they have evolved in terms of what they're looking for. So we have developed new products to suit their needs. Just to highlight a few, we have launched our Enhanced Economy Flex. This is what the Flex of economy class that gives you a lot of flexibility and also a lot of priority privileges. For instance, priority boarding, priority check-in. You are able to change the ticket, the dates of your flights, and you are also able to get a full refundable ticket if you last minute either the country doesn't allow or where there are travel restrictions. So MH Flex, Economy Flex is really very convenient to suit the current needs, because there's still quite a lot of ambiguity here and there, and I know that for our consumers, they need to have the assurance when they travel. So Economy Flex literally addresses that. We also launched MH Fly Pass. This is where at a very astonishing, very good rate of the prices, you can get 6 trips, or 6 flights within domestic at any one time, so that you could pick your destination or your date of travel to your convenience at any one time of the year. So it's a fly pass that has 6 flights, as I mentioned. We have 3 different zones available based on where you really want to travel, and it's valid for 1 year. And the pricing for this is really attractive. Of course, we also have fly now, pay later campaigns. For those who said, I do need to fly, be it essential flying that they have mandatory flying, but they have the option to really pay later at 0 interest. Of course, we have MH Holidays. We do know now that when we go flying, or when we go for travel, it's very important that we have that one-stop center that caters for your flight and hotels and even your attractions and trips. So that's where we have MH Holidays, which is our tour operating arm. These have additional benefits. For instance, you have a much attractive fares when you buy a package of flight and hotel on MH Holidays, a good spread of hotel options. We have complimentary meal, we have a free seat selection as well, and even higher check-in baggage allowance whenever you buy MH Holidays with us. There are a lot of trips and tours that we offer as well, over 40,000 for over 1,000 destinations worldwide. So it's not just Malaysia alone. So for your next trip, don't forget to check out MH Holidays. And of course, we all talk about us going for holidays, and one market that's always been not getting a lot of attention is actually the students. A lot of them tend to forget the students, but I think it's very important that we make it easy for our students, especially during the pandemic. They have gone through a lot, to continue with their studies, with all the limitations in terms of facilities, in terms of tools, to change the way they go to school. So we have created a digital program for our students. Literally, again, extensive benefits for students alone, aged 13 to 26. So unfortunately, I can't apply for it. So there's up to 30% discount for all the travels whole year round, right? And not only the students get that discount, 4 of their family members get that discount as well. Up to 4 times a year. They get additional baggage allowance when you're an MH Explorer. As MH Explorer, you're immediately an Enrich members as well, and that opens up our students to all the benefits of Enrich has to offer, right? And of course, with this, we know for students as well, sometimes the dates and all is hard to confirm, right? So they are with MH Explorer, they also get complimentary date change for their flights. And this is just one of the many examples of the deals that MH Explorer gets. Be it at Starbucks, they get additional 20% discount. You go shopping at Zalora, Lazada, or even at cafes, and even you have special privileges in terms of the MH Explorer pins. Wanted to share. I think with the pandemic, we all know almost everybody has now resorted or rather explored online shopping, right? Everybody needs to go on digital. And this is where we, Malaysia Aviation Group, also have developed and launched our e-commerce platform, which is called Journeyfy. The colors are very different, as you can see. It's literally a travel and lifestyle e-commerce platform. You can check it out at journeyfy.malaysiaairlines.com. If you have our app, just open the app. There's a little icon at the bottom right called Genify. Tap on it, and you will be able to see the 3 key functions of Genify. What it attempts to do is, firstly, we know that the moment travel is resuming, we will clearly start to promote or allow domestic travel. So this is where discover, the first function of Genify, comes to play. Yeah, we are asking ourselves, fellow Malaysians, to discover all the natural, all the beauty within Malaysia, whether it's places to eat, the best roti canai that's down down the road from your home, or the best, most attractive waterfall that's just 5 minutes away from your home. Put it in there. Share that with fellow Malaysians so that they get to enjoy, and at the same time, we are able to then support the businesses as well. So that's function number 1 of Genify. Genify also allows you to take that look. Hey, I'm going to Penang. I'm not very familiar with Penang, and I don't want to go to those super popular places because I've already been there like 10 times. So they go on Genify, they find out what are these new interesting places. They log down. Oh, I want to go to these 5 places. So when they key into Genify then allows you, plan it up for you with your itinerary to say, okay, then you better go to the durian place first, at Bayan Lepas side, then only you go for your asam laksa, then only you go for your nasi kandar, so that you get to plan the itinerary for you. So that's the second function of Genify. And of course, last but not least is the shopping. Everybody loves shopping, right? Online shopping makes it even more easier. I nowadays sometimes go shop online on every day. Yeah, so shopping on Genify, we focus on key things which are needed for your flight, for your travel needs, right? But at the same time, also very exclusive locals best, because we want to feature the beauty of Malaysia. So have a look at Genify. You will be able to find that there's a lot of very interesting things on it. Yeah. One thing I would also love to bring your attention to is we have launched the first in the world ever Genify to you. This facility, or rather this service, is only available at KLIA, and nowhere else in the world. What it means is, literally, as the name says, Genify to you, which means we will get Genify to you. Yeah. So you shop online, be it if you want a Starbucks, or if you want additional meal on board, or if you want a scarf or something, you can actually have it delivered to you at your boarding gate just before your flight. Yeah, so just giving you some example. This is really a brand new flagship experience of Genify. So if for those who say, I'm going to go on flight to BKI, I'm going to be very hungry at that time. I would love to have some desserts on top of my meals being served on board. So they can actually order on Genify, put in your flight number, and we will then have it delivered right to at your boarding gate just before your flight itself. And a lot of times we see our customers, they actually finish the food at the boarding lounge itself. It hasn't even reached the flight. Yeah. So of course, last but not least, we are highly committed to sustainability. This is our mission. Yeah. We don't look into sustainability in terms of just economy or environment. We establish 5 key pillars of sustainability, which is in terms of governance, economic, environmental, and social economy. We need to play our part in the social economy. And of course, as the airline, safety and security is of utmost important. Yeah. So our sustainability blueprint was officially launched in April this year. And it is tagged to 5 pillars. And also we are aligned with the United Nations SDG, 4 SDG at this moment, the SDG 5, 8, 12, and 13. Yeah. Moving on, we actually saw the lifting of domestic borders restrictions, and that was actually very, very interesting. So clearly, as the domestic national airline, we need to support the domestic travel to reboot itself. So these are just some of the very good deals that we have launched with the recovery as we entered phase 2 of the National Recovery Plan that was back then, and MH Holidays came in to support with really good packages, like going to Sandakan for 3 days, 2 nights. So a flight and hotel will only cost you 129 ringgit per person. Yeah. And the moment Langkawi bubble was open on the 16th of September, we launched with as a really affordable price of 89 for the flight to Langkawi. And we also promoted Langkawi attractions, to help the industry there. At the same time, we continue to promote domestic travel. We are launching new flights. These are literally from Penang to Kuching and from Penang to Kota Kinabalu on Malaysia Airlines, starting 1st of December. And that's just a few days away from today. And at the same time, we already also launched a new flight, which is from Johor Bahru direct to Langkawi in support of the Langkawi bubble. Of course. And again, MH Holidays comes in with really attractive prices and also attractive packages, and of course, with our kids promotion that we said kids can fly and travel for free. At the same time, again, we as a national airline, we have this responsibility to help locals to revive the industry. So we launched a MH boarding pass campaign. Basically, it is to drive traffic to the local tourism players. Example, if you take a look at this, say the panorama cable car, right? So under this campaign, all you need to do is present your Malaysia Airlines or Firefly boarding pass, be it a physical or digital boarding pass, right? And you can actually enjoy up to 50% of activities at the cable car. So all these are how we try to drive more people going to our local players in Langkawi itself, and we continue to do that for all other states as well. With now that everybody, the domestic travel is allowed. Just very quickly, our Enrich, which is our travel and lifestyle loyalty program, also have been doing a lot during this pandemic to make sure that the engagement with its members continue to be very strong. And just a very brief introduction of what Enrich is all about. It started as a frequent flyer program, but since 2019, Enrich has now pivoted to be not just to flights, but also giving a host of non-airline deals and partners into the lifestyle, such as healthcare, insurance, and even charity. Because in view of the pandemic, we are giving our members more avenues to earn or redeem their Enrich points. Just a very quick snapshot. Enrich benefits is abundant. It's free to sign up. You get to earn and redeem. There are priority services, for instance, going into the lounge and whatnot. We have flight members only promotions, and also with partners, and of course events that we used to hold where we were able to hold events at that time. In terms of airlines partners, we have 16 airline partners with Enrich. So literally you can earn when you fly with them. And at the same time, you can also use your Enrich points to buy a ticket on our partner airlines. And not just airlines per se, we go into accommodation as well. As you can see here, Hilton, the likes of Klook, the like of Agoda.com, and even Enrich Hotels is our own branded hotel platform, which you can earn and also use your Enrich points for. We've also have all our financial services partners with us for point conversion. And of course, in terms of the retail arena, we have everyone from you can do a point conversion between Be Infinite, Sunway Pals, and Grab to Enrich, and vice versa. You can also get dining use your Enrich points to get dining vouchers at Hilton, or even shopping at Zalora or Sports Direct, to all the photo books, and even to education such as SEGI. Recently, we have signed a MOU with SEGI. You can use your Enrich points to pay for your registration fee for SEGI programs, and even earn points when you enroll in those programs. Just some examples that how we continue our engagement with our members. And of course, we launch also Enrich Junior for those young of 2 to 12 years old. That again, they will be able to earn a lot of benefits being an Enrich Junior member. And we came up with a limited edition of Enrich card, Enrich and Harimau Malaya card, to support our national football team. Special attention would like to bring to healthcare, because I think this is very relevant during the pandemic, that we can use Enrich points to get a PCR screening at BP Health Lab, or vice versa. You can even earn Enrich points from it. At the same time, the pandemic also has allowed us, or rather awaken us to be more community focused. So we partner up with say, some charity bodies, for example, Make a Wish, Red Crescent, and even Mercy, to allow our Enrich members to make donation, just as simple as a click in the app to use their points for them. Yeah, but despite all this, we know that Enrich members love to fly. So we know that with the restrictions still in place, we have just recently announced that the Enrich points, again, we have extended the validity, the expiry of the Enrich points right up to next year, 31st of December 2022. So this is actually from March, April in 2020 itself. So that's a 33 months extension in terms of validity. So don't worry, Enrich members, you have a long time to utilize your points, and we are all waiting for the borders to open, because we're all waiting to fly, whether regionally, domestically, or even internationally. You are able to retain, Enrich members able to retain the status tier right up to 2023 March. And at the same time, we have reduced the requirement by 30% for those who manage to go up the tier. With all this, again, we're really happy to know that Enrich actually managed to bag 4 prestigious awards in the recent Loyalty and Engagement Award that was held in September. We took on the gold and the silver for having the best partnership via Enrich Hotels and Enrich and Temptation. We are the silver winner for the best COVID response. And at the same time, we are the best loyalty program in lifestyle, holding the bronze award. So very quickly, I think we have also business travels. We know that now we are resetting our business travels. So we have launched again very, very comprehensive and competitive packages for our corporate partners that gives free sign up, very, very attractive fares, and convenience in terms of booking, under MHBiz Pro, and also for the bigger companies who have large volume of travel that have their bookings managed via another travel management company, they can subscribe to MHBiz Plus. Enrich Biz Connect, again, is to award corporate loyalty cards, loyalty points for our corporate partners. So now I think that kind of sums up what are the challenges that we have been facing, how we come about to address these challenges and these issues, be it our consumers, be it our staff, our processes, and whatnot. But we all know that all of us are really, really waiting to fly again. So I just want to share, before I close, I just want to share one final video. This was launched actually last year. It's not even very recent, but I think it's very applicable, because the purpose of this video was to say everybody wants to fly, but let us be responsible. Don't fly when we shouldn't be flying yet. For the benefit of everyone else. We can dream today, but travel tomorrow, and that is the title of this video. So have a look. And before I end, I just want to thank you very much for the time, and we do hope that you continue to fly Malaysia, and this way, be responsible travelers. And as we wait eagerly to fly again. Enjoy the video.
Today, we gaze out of our windows, doorways, and balconies. Our world seemingly smaller, and yet our heart longs for a great adventure. But for now, we must wait. Wait for the storm to pass. Wait for the sun to rise again. When that day comes, we will look out from the window of an airplane and venture into the world like never before. We will go further and discover more, from the mountain peak to the sun-scorched beach, from the city streets to the forest heat. We will treasure every walk in the park, every handshake with a stranger, every celebration with our loved ones. Because today, we know how special those moments are, and how we've taken it for granted all this while. Today, we're not there yet, but until that day comes, Let's dream together and travel tomorrow.
Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the session.
Okay, so thank you, Miss Lau, for your sharing. Due to the time, we have no Q&A session. So again, thank you, Miss Lau, for joining our CMC virtual
Thank you.
conference and exhibition, and also giving us an interesting sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.